hoping you can just introduce yourself and let me know what you do in your day-to-day for work.
Absolutely. Thanks for reaching out. I'm glad to talk more about Shift in a moment. I'm co-founder of Rare Label. We're a creative agency based in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm kind of the creative operations manager, so I oversee and kind of have my hands in a lot of the things from strategy to identity development, creative production, social media, all of those things and beyond. And yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my little intro.
How did you get into this space initially?
We've officially founded the agency in 2018, and we wanted to build our own agency that could kind of produce not only our own internal projects like, podcasts, events, digital things in the digital world, physical work, the world, like, merch and things like that. So we wanted to go ahead and officially build a company that could do all of those things. And then we also do client work and, partnering with maybe other organizations or brands, depending on, just kind of what the setup is. And so that's how Rare Label started.
I looked at your profile here and it looks like you've been using Shift since around October of last year. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
And so how were you working before you discovered Shift and started using Shift?
Yeah. So I was working, through Google Chrome, I guess. Essentially, I have, my iMac, but then I also have a monitor. And so there would be times where I, had a lot of tabs up, and I use software like ClickUp is our project management software internally, Evernote, all of the things, listening to Spotify at the same time. But yeah, my workflow was just kind of between two monitors, having probably 4 or 5 different things up at the same time, because I may be doing strategy or some market research. So I have a lot of tabs up and I'm kind of reading, but I'm also taking notes on the side via, Evernote or ClickUp, whatever that may be.
What was did you sort of reach a point where you were, working in the browser and working in kind of those several different windows, as you kind of mentioned? Was there a point where you were like, gosh, there's got to be maybe a better way? Like what was that point for you in realizing and seeking out a different tool in a different way?
Yeah, so I really had no idea that a software like Shift existed. And a friend of mine told me about it. I think I had an Instagram live, probably September, October, around that time. And a friend of mine joined in. She also runs a creative agency. And I think that Instagram live that I had was just kind of about tools for, creative professionals. And so I talked about ClickUp. I talked about Evernote. I talked about Calendar, like, all of the necessary tools to kind of, help you organize things in your business. And I remember she had a comment, and I think she maybe DM'd me, and she was like, have you heard of Shift, or have you tried Shift? That's like that's my favorite tool to help me kind of keep everything organized. And I was like, no, I've never heard of Shift. And she's someone who I really admire. So immediately I was like, let me learn about this software. And I signed up. I tried it for, I was like, let me try it for a few weeks or whatever. And then I was like, I'm sold. And I've been on it ever since.
Since you started using Shift, what would you say is one of the biggest benefits that you've experienced?
I really like to have my email inboxes like there, but they're not in their own, I guess, space on my computer. So it's not as distracting, I feel like, but I can easily access my email if I need to quickly. That's probably been one of the things that I've liked best about Shift. And then a very close second would be being able to switch between programs. This is kind of what Shift is for. So being able to shift between programs without losing really where I was, or even where it is on my monitors.
Right.
I know it's going to be, I can access it in that left, the left menu, and get back to it really quickly. I don't have to move things around and it's hiding behind something on my desktop.
I don't know, Jordan, if you have Shift open right now, but would you be willing to share your screen?
Yeah, for sure. Let me look. Okay. So here it is.
Awesome.
Yes. So this is the, I guess, my home workspace.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still kind of getting familiar with some of the language and stuff. But then I have, Google Calendar and ClickUp, obviously, Slack, Spotify, Evernote, Behance, all of the things that I pretty much use on a daily.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Lots of apps that you have going on.
You had just asked what's one of the things that I like the most, but also being able to go to another device, obviously my MacBook, and it's there. Shift in my tabs and everything have synced.
Why would I pay for this? And what benefit does it really have over, working in some different tools and a browser? And if you could talk to those people and share your own experience, what would you say to them?
I would say, I think it's always important to invest in software tools. There's a reason why there is a cost to them, and it's because it makes your life easier. I think there's always a world too where, you can give it a try for 2 weeks or a month or something like that, and just kind of look at it as a new opportunity to optimize your workflow rather than super worrying about the cost of something. And so even our team, our partners and our clients, we're big advocates of invest in professional software. It will speed you up. It will save you time. So whether you're trying to speed up so you can have more capacity to do more work, or you're trying to speed up because you really want to work 4 days a week or 4 hours a day or whatever that looks like to you, professional software, something like Shift, is definitely worth the investment. And you have to look at it as an investment. Okay, this is of this cost to me per month or whatever, but what is the amount of time that I'm getting back that I can guilt-free watch my Netflix, or I can bring on 2 or 3 more clients, or whatever that looks like to everybody. It's always different.
Do you have any hobbies outside of your work life that you care to share?
Yeah, for sure. So I really enjoy being able to, on a Friday evening, it's super quiet. Emails are not, popping off. So I definitely like to get outside, go for a walk. We live in downtown New Orleans, and there's always energy in New Orleans. There's always something to do. Trying new restaurants, obviously great food, and gin cocktails is something that I enjoy trying. A restaurant signature gin cocktail. I am also I love podcasts. So listening to podcasts, whether that is, professional development podcasts, which is a little bit on the work side, but also, entertainment or, comedic relief podcasts, things like that. Traveling to see my family, my friends, things like that.
Do you have any favorite podcasts that you're listening to that you want to share?
Yes. So one of my favorites that I think whoever, people who may be watching this video would be interested in is, I think it's called Think Fast, Talk Smart.
Okay.
It is, I'm not going to recall the professor's name, but he's a professor at Stanford. And it's a communications podcast, just how to manage communications with, team members, and just it's based on a lot of research and information and study and data on how to communicate well. So that would be one. I really like the Freelance Founders podcast. They just launched a podcast. One of their co-founders hosts it, and they're interviewing other founders, like what was the very first hourly rate you ever charged, stories about client work, so on and so forth, and just kind of their come up. And one other one, I'm a big fan of Crime Junkie podcast, true crime. And there's two co-hosts on that podcast. I think it's what they're doing is the work that they're doing in the true crime space is really, really dope.